and welcome back to the Champion Draft Series. I'm your host, Pink Ghost.
And I'm DragonguywhoDied. The Champion Draft Series continues this week, and now that a lot of players have had a taste of the format, many of them are starting to utilize their tools in creative ways and adapting to their opponents by switching things up with their champions this week.
Yes, now that we're in the second week, we can start to see which teams are running away with the lead, which teams are starting their climb back up the leaderboards, and which teams just might need to rethink their strategies if they want to make top cut at the end of the series. Let's jump right into this week's action.
Hot off their big win last week, the Canadian Chime Slimes this time face off against Los Charlangas. But this week, Slay Seraphine made it past the band stage, something Shodox definitely had to watch out for. But like he said in our recent interview, Shodox was expecting Slay to bring mid-range decks like Cane Trucks that he could target, and target them he did. With Tibalt empowering every card in his deck, the Chime Slimes were able to keep the large units in check and burn through their opponent's remaining life total, allowing Shodox to remain undefeated this week.
Good game. GG. Yeah, because even if they somehow killed Broadwing or survived that attack, I just open with Terek and Lux again, and they literally cannot remove them at all.
The Empire's Gladiators and the Banal City Buster Shots went head-to-head this week, both of them changing their lineups from last week to adapt into their new opponents. Sir Turman bringing terrifying combos with Twisted Fate Ezreal and Evelyn Maokai, while Bust brought strongly statted units in his Poppy Caitlyn and Jax Trundle mid-range decks. The Gladiators unfortunately tossed all three of their Watery Graves game 1, giving Bust the time he needed to overwhelm his opponent. But the healing and removal from both of Sir Turman's remaining decks made it hard for Bust's Lulu Jinx to break through, and with a few powerful combos from Sir Turman, he was able to come back and take game 3, giving the Empire's Gladiators their first win of the season.
Just go here, and we got to mill them! Alright, so you know what? Even if I lose now, I'm happy. We got the mill condition once. We almost had it last game too, if we didn't toss all three of them.
Despite losing twice with John and Nocturne last week, there was horror in the air with Halloween, and the Windswept Warriors brought both back from the dead to face off against the redeemed qualities this week. And while it was an uphill battle against Spid's biggest buffs from Spirits Unleashed and the Hollowed units, Jason was able to get through with John and Nocturne and easily rely on his AC Yasuo to take home the victory this week.
Dizzymondo ORNG had a very aggressive lineup last week, but this week brought slower, heavy-hitting late-game decks to try to stand against the extrusive Elemental's mid-range boards. But Grandpa Roji did not appreciate getting countered last week and brought some spice of his own, turning Malphite and Pantheon into Cosmic Call engines, and bringing Bard as well. With this turn of events, L-Games could not handle the cosmic pressure, ending their earlier momentum from the previous week.
Let's go. Can't take down the Cosmic Call auction. Malphite. Let's go. GG.
Fossborough FC was looking to prove themselves after their defeat last week. But this week they were up against the Ionian Idiots, coached by seasonal champion Majin Bey. This is going to be a hard-fought match, and Cephalopod went all in on targeting Majin's Rise deck, bringing fast and hard-hitting combos, as well as a bunch of landmark removal. While the battles were fierce and intense, Fossborough was rewarded for their efforts with a 2-0 victory, helping them climb right back up that leaderboard.
And we've got Cephalopod right here to talk a little bit about his most recent victory. Now, Cephalopod, what exactly was your plan of attack going against the Ionian Idiots?
Yeah, so against Majin, I expected him to bring the lineup of Rise plus Zoe Invokes plus Heimer Jace, which was like... I missed a little bit, but the general idea was there of his favorite deck is Zoe Jace. And that deck really doesn't play a lot of blockers, so it leans pretty heavily on the landmark for defense. So I brought aggressive decks that can lethal off a turn 5 Cosmic Call of Rumble and Echo, and brought a lot of explorers in those to make sure I could deal with the landmark. And then the third deck was just Invokes that was tagged for the mirror. So that was the plan.
Now that we are 2 weeks into the series, how do you feel about your roster currently amongst the rest of the competition? You've sort of seen how they've done throughout the series as well.
Yeah, I'm happy with my roster. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anyone else's. Like, I think, like, it might not be the strongest, but it's definitely, for the way that I want to play, it's the best one for me.
Now, are you concerned at all for your match against Los Charlangas this week?
I think this one might be kind of hard because the champions that Slay has are really versatile. Like, he can do so many different things with what he's got, and I don't know. It's very hard to predict like what's gonna occur. So I'm a little worried. Yeah.
We'll have to see exactly what happens this upcoming Monday. But thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today's recap, but stick around for the announced Pick'ems winners and the schedule for this upcoming week's matches.
And don't forget to join our Discord and follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with all of our updates.
Finally, don't forget to subscribe to us here for all things CDS. I've been your host, Pink Gross. Thank you, Dragon, for joining me.
And we'll see you all next week. See you around.